Hey, what's happening, all you beautiful people? We got another day working on not this. We got a special project coming into the shop here. I've got to make some space because I am quite full. Already had to move out 3 more vehicles. I've got to get an area cleaned up right here because we've got something very showing up here in a matter of maybe a couple minutes. I'm super stoked on it. It's Dr. Nate. He's bringing that Ford Ranger I'd made a video on be about a year ago or so of the tube chassis Ford Ranger. I'll make sure to get a card up in the corner here. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. He'll go through a full detail of exactly what's been done on that. But I am super excited on this. It's something different with the channel. I've always kind of wanted to do some paint and body and that sort of stuff, and instead of just continually working on the Hellcat, well, now I've got another excuse to work on something in the shop that is shop orientated, and I get to film it. So I'll show you guys the ins and outs of all the body work and whatnot that we're gonna do, and yeah, I'm super excited on this one. And just like that, here's our special delivery. I'm not even remotely concerned about the frickin' truck. I just want to see you. Good.
Good to see you.
What do we got in here, bud?
Oh, treat.
A treat?
She's half naked, but...
So if you guys remember, like I was talking about before, that video of Dr. Nate, we'll put a link up top there and we'll show you all the custom stuff. I could try and explain it to you, but I'm not smart enough. So there's that video that'll come up, and yeah, so we'll get this unloaded and get to it. Alrighty. So we're stepping on to a new chapter on the channel. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but just standard collision work really isn't what interests me. Well, it does. It interests me a bit since it's my livelihood, but it doesn't really fit in here. And this vehicle is an absolute perfect fit for what we're going to be doing. I've been doing obviously a lot more working on stuff and all that sort of thing, so I thought I would kind of dive into this a little bit and show off a little bit more of a skill set and whatnot. This is Nate's Ranger, and what we're going to be doing with it is a complete paint, taking it back, area correct, 1994 Ford green, but it's going to look phenomenal. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to strip this entire truck down. Now, Nathan has done some cosmetic stuff on the firewall and done all that sort of thing, so I don't have to dive into that because, well, as much as I would like to just tear into this, well, it's just too pretty. That won't happen. But I'm going to take this thing down to complete bare metal and basically start from scratch. He's got fiberglass fenders, wide body fenders, Baja style fenders, front and rear. I'm going to be bedlining the inside of those to prevent any abrasion and any stuff coming through to affect the paint, give it a little bit more durability. And then, yeah, we're going to start fresh, do some body work, do some filler, do some priming, obviously a lot of blocking and a lot of painting. And that's something that I'm actually truly passionate about in the automotive collision industry. I really like metalworking. I really like all that kind of stuff, but I'm a painter at heart, and I'm super excited to show this off to you guys. So first things first, I started to take some of the interior exterior pieces out. Nate's got the interior already stripped, so I'm going to pull the handles, the door lock cylinders, all that kind of stuff, and start with so we can get going with a blank canvas. So here we go. Okay, just got some of the door panel off, the inner panel off, and I'm going to try and get the exterior handle out. On these older ones, they're actually riveted in from the outside, but you still have to disconnect the door latch mechanism. So, see that little yellow clip? So we'll get that, my fingers in there, get that popped off. It'll focus. And then give her a little yank. There we go. So our door rod is now off. We can drill these out from the outside. They're actually just rivets right there, so we'll punch out the center, drill those out, and no more door handles. Get them behind it. There we go. right, so the plan, like I said before, we're going to try and get this taken all down to bare metal. With this truck, we want to start fresh. We want to get everything down to a clean slate. So I've got 80 grit on my feather edger. That's about as coarse of a grit sandpaper as you're going to want to use on something like this, especially when you're stripping. Just to take it down, you don't want nothing too hard because you don't want to burn away the steel. All right, so we've got the door taken down to bare, and it looks actually pretty good. I got to do a little bit more cleanup on here. There's still a bit of the factory e-coat or whatever on it. It's still a fairly light tooth. It's only done in 80 grit. I like everything to be uniform. 80 grit's the hardest I'll ever take on sheet metal. Moving forward, when I go to just finish this up a little bit, I will take it over with 80 or a 180 on, or 120 maybe probably on the DA, and just kind of smooth it all out, because there is a little bit of a tooth in there from the 80 because it's not an orbital. It is a standard, just a straight round sander. But other than that, it looks good. There was no hidden damage. There was no nothing underneath of it, so I'm really happy with that. I just haven't taken the window out or that out, so that's why I haven't done above, but just wanted to make sure the guts and the main shell of the door itself were good and everything checks out. So move forward, get the other door done, pull the window seal, and then we can finish the top of the door, look at any possible damage, and then maybe think about flipping the doors over and roughing them up. I don't know if exactly I'm going to strip them or not yet, depending on how they look. If there's a little bit of corrosion, then I'm going to strip them, but if they look good and clean, I'm going to just scuff them and call it good, because, well, the outsides are nice. Alrighty, so got the door all cleaned up. Everything's pretty good. The whole reason, like I say, why I wanted to strip it, and that's perfect. There was some corrosion in here that I cleaned up, and another spot in this ledge here that I got to do a little bit more on. So it's getting to the point now where I can start to body work it. There is a ridge right here on the door that I can feel. It's high in this spot, and then it's low, and I'm thinking that's just the standard, well, when it's not quite closed, you put your hand on it and give it a shove. So that's pretty typical. And then on the bottom here, it's got quite a few little waves, not enough to warrant me actually going through and remanipulating the metal, but I can feel it. So I'm going to give that a coat, a light skim coat, and I'm going to grab a file here if I can find one, and I'm just going to give this an etch and a mark, so then you guys can better visualize what I'm feeling. can 100% tell now off that scratch pattern. I've got a higher spot and I've got a higher spot in the sheet metal, and that file is not touching in this section here, and that's what I was thinking, that someone would be pressing on that to close it. So we're going to do a little bit of metal work in here, try and lift that up, get that scratch pattern even, and then I'll hit the file on the bottom to see where the ripples are there. Alright, so I got some scratches put into the bottom of the door, and as you can see, we're low in there. We're low on this entire front edge. And there's just a couple little spots moving into here. You can see where we've got a heavier scratch and then really nothing, and then back into a heavier. So this section here is low, and it just kind of continues on. This spot here is low, right there. Like I say, in the scheme of things, it's minute. This large one, this is the heaviest of the low spots in the door, and it's less than a 1/16 of an inch. If I was to take my file, which is true, and I put it on the door, like that little bit of light there, that's what I was feeling, and that's what you're seeing. So even then, that doesn't warrant me to put anything on there or hammer in from the inside, just because of the fact that I don't want to make it high. I don't want a high spot. Right now it's a nice gradual low spot. It's not very deep, so just a basic fill from there will be more than enough. So with that being all said, we know exactly what we need to do to this door moving forward. I've got it stripped. I've started to strip the other one, and we're gonna cap this one off here. Moving forward on the next video, we'll start to do some body work on this. We'll get that set and we'll get the other door addressed. But for now, I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in, watching this channel, giving me the thumbs up, sharing. It really does truly mean a lot. If you're new here, just consider subscribing. It costs you nothing, and well, honestly, it helps me out immensely. I'm trying to grow this channel. It's a passion of mine that I want to continue to get larger, so I can possibly maybe in the future do this full time. So like I say, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and yeah, I look forward to the future. Cheers.